Green?
All right, welcome everyone. We're going to start the COA board meeting. It is now 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, October 5th. We're going to have a roll call, please. Lisa?
Oh. Lynn Wheatley Beaupre. Elaine Lemoyne.
Melissa Carnan.
Sharon Pratt.
Sharon Boyer.
Sharon Rice.
Thank you. And I see we have someone in the audience. Your name, please?
Judy Jensen Riddle.
Thank you.
And Jay.
And Daisy.
Daisy. Wonderful. All right, we're going to have a moment of silence for the sick and departed. Next on the agenda this morning, acceptance of the meeting minutes. I know that it was sent to everyone prior.
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye. You? All right, moving right along. Sharon, director's report.
Well, let's start with the files from the board. You do have the files now, the older files, correct? Okay, so those need to reside at the COA. We do have several empty filing cabinets, so we can dedicate a filing cabinet to the board, and they're the 2 drawers, but if you want more, we can give you 2. And I'm not sure, do you feel like they're really all public documents, so I don't think they need to be locked up, but if you feel like they do, we can put them in a locked room.
I kind of went through them. I found it. I didn't, go into depth with it. And it appears to be all public documents, so I think it needs to be locked.
Okay. So we can, the logical place in my mind would be what I call, it's kind of the computer room. It's where the dead computers go to die. And the game room. There's like plenty of room in there, and I'm hoping at some point soon we can get rid of all of those old computers because they're not in use for anybody, so why keep them? But, so I don't know if that is acceptable to the board as a place to store them. If anybody has an opinion.
This is a room where we do the beacons?
Correct. Yeah. So most of the time that door is locked, but we do have programs in there, and people do go in there, but I can't, if they're public documents, it's nothing they couldn't get off the website anyway. So,
I motion. I agree.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
the good place as any.
yeah. And then they're dedicated just to board documents, and I don't know how much you got from Jody. Do you feel that a 2-drawer is enough? Do you want a 4-drawer? Okay, so you want to start with a 2-drawer?
We can start with the 2 drawers.
Okay, all righty. And, as long as the minutes aren't like this, we'll be okay.
How long do you have to keep the documents?
That's a good question. I don't know, because technically, we are not the repository for this stuff, the town clerk is. So I don't know that we have to keep them at all, but for the board to refer to, it's nice to have them, but the official version of everything gets stamped and is kept, the town clerk, so to make sure that everybody, it's not just us, but every committee is following the right rules. So, and I don't know how far back those go. Do you know, Sharon? No, so.
I would imagine we would be back. When did we start again? 2014, so I would imagine we would start probably 2014, 2015.
And we have no idea what happened prior to that, so, yeah. Anyway, so good, that one order of business down. So we have had sellouts at our last 2 events, well, our barbecue, and we have Country Fest coming up next week. And the Elks holds a maximum of 150. So we've had to shut down. We have a wait list to try to get in for next week, but they can't accommodate any more than the 150. So what we did is we went and we counted our tables and we counted our chairs, and We send at the end of the second week of the month, the newsletter in for the coming month. And then we're at the mercy of LPI. Sometimes they're here by Monday. Sometimes they're not here for 10 days, or could be longer. Like, it's been all over the map. We have no control, and they just show up when they show up. We can call them, but they lie to us, and they say, it's coming Tuesday, and Tuesday comes and goes. Sharon knows, she gets everybody all together, and there's no newsletters. So we're at their whim. But what's happening is, when we submit the newsletter to LPI, and there's no way around this, their system automatically puts the ads in the digital file and puts it online. So if somebody has subscribed either through LPI or through the town to get our newsletters, they get it instantaneously, within 5 minutes, okay? Now, the person who's on our mailing list, they might not get it. It depends when we get them, and then it depends on when we can get the groups together and get them out. And so what's happening is, people are calling and they're trying to sign up for things, and we're full. Things like the phone class, which we have 3 spots. We're actually increasing it to 4 spots now. But that's only 12 people a month. And those are gone before the newsletter even hits, because people need that. It's what they, So our goal is, 1, we've got to get the beacons out as soon as they arrive. And 2, I don't know what to tell people, because they, if Sharon Boyer subscribes on digitally and Lynn Beaupre gets it in the mail, Sharon's going to get her pick of things, and Lynn you're going to get the remainder.
Can we put in the article or in the event, can we put a date before which you cannot sign up?
We could.
You can't call in before this date.
Yeah. We could. It would be hard to enforce, but we could.
But it might give you a chance anyway.
Yeah. It would depend on who's at the desk. It would depend on, people show up all the time.
Right.
They don't follow rules. We put signs up, we close at 3 o'clock, and I can guarantee you, after chair yoga today, I'll have 10 people out there trying to buy tickets for something.
Right. Right.
You're supposed to sign up for things they don't, we try, but, so we could,
It might at least give you a fighting chance.
yeah, could try.
At least
So,
the ladies on the phone can say, according to the beacon, I'm sorry, you need to call back after such and such a date.
yeah, and that would be our best guess, because again, we don't know when the beacon's going to get delivered.
Well,
So,
you can kind of arbitrarily pick a date.
yeah, so we do have a lot of good things coming up in November and December. And I think January and February are going to be, because the weather's so unpredictable, we kind of didn't put anything expensive. We've got a guy coming and doing game show stuff, and we've got, there's somebody who does the Birds of Prey events over at the library. We got that person coming in, and these are expensive events, so we're doing them all now so that we don't get snowed out or whatever in January, and then things will pick up again, hopefully like March or April. So, and I think that's about it. I don't know.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Going back when you were saying that the young events are going to be here, what did you say the amount of people that we could have?
It's
130.
120 to 130.
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, Halloween, anything. It doesn't matter what it is. That's because that's the space. As a matter of fact, we're going to have to take these chairs, because we are short like 30 chairs to make these quantities. So we're going to borrow them and then bring them back. I looked into buying them. They were like, to match what we have downstairs, and they're like $800. So, and then it will be tight. It will be tight. For Halloween, we're only doing 100 people, because we have the DJ coming, and we have games, and the games, you need space to play. And I don't want to take a dance floor away from people. It's hard. Everything's a trade-off. So it's good that people want to come here. So it's a good problem to have, but it's
Hundreds and
victim of our success, basically.
And we only, is there a reason why we're stop using the Elks?
Well, I gotta, so first of all, we don't have access to their kitchen, which is the big thing.
That's the big thing.
So, and it's an insurance issue on their end, and I respect that. They're very, very good to us. But so for example, for October Country Fest, we're buying chili from Wendy's. And that's coming in hot, and we're going to put it in crock pots. But it's so much more work. We actually have to bring our carts, dismantle them, put them in the cars, transport them. The coffee urns, I mean, like, it's so much work. And so it is much easier to do it here, where we can use the kitchen and we have everything here. We don't have to transport. But they do have a little bit more room, but really not that much. So Melissa and Lynn Uberti did kind of a floor plan based with the number of tables we have, and if we run them kind of perpendicular to the cabinets that are along the wall of the gym, we can get, I think, 130. We have to put people on the ends. And it's always tricky when you sell out your tickets, because if you're late to the game, Sharon, you two might be coming together, but if you're the last two, you might have to sit at one table and you might have to sit at another. It's where the open seats are, so,
Got it.
yeah. So, or we could just bring everybody to All-American.
I think
That would
a
work,
cap
because you have a
I think
kitchen,
cap
right?
of
So,
100 is plenty.
so anyway. Actually, there is one other thing I wanted to mention. I have started, in partnership with WCTV, which is the Wareham Cable, I have started a monthly, I'll call it a TV show. It's an interview format, and I did the first one last week with Jan Cody, who is our Shine counselor. And basically, the show is called Senior Matters, and it's all about, each month will be a different topic as it relates to seniors. So we did Shine and Medicare and open enrollment, because that's opening up actually next week. And then in November, we're filming in October, but it'll air in November. We're doing a segment with two people from South Shore Community Action Council who will talk to us about fuel assistance, because there's a lot of misconceptions about who's eligible for that. A lot of people are eligible and don't realize it. So, if you live in an apartment and your heat's included, people think they're not eligible. Well, they are, because they are paying for it. It's in their rent. They just don't know it. And then I have DTA, which is the agency that provides food stamps. They're coming in, it'll be in November for December. And then Alan Slavin has offered to do one. And then I am going to do one on the COA and what people can get, what's the benefit that we can provide to them. So that one would be hard, because I have to kind of interview myself.
Is this weekly, monthly?
Monthly.
Monthly, and when and what time?
So it goes out on whatever the WCTV rotation is on the local cable channel, and that will just run through the whole month. And then there's a link that they gave me that it lives on YouTube, and it will live forever on YouTube. So they have their own channel on YouTube, I guess, and so you could search under Wareham COA on YouTube, and it would come up, and it's on our Facebook page.
All right, go back to WCTV, because I don't do that other stuff.
Okay,
How do I find it?
so go to YouTube.
I don't do YouTube.
So if you don't, so you'd have to
Well,
watch your TV.
On my computer, I'm going to go to the 3 channels and trying to find out which one Senior Matters is on.
That I don't know. I would have to find out from
And
them.
what time of day is it?
It just runs, it's 10 minutes, so it's not like a huge segment, and it just runs whenever they have,
Oh, it's just one of those,
Space.
catch it as it goes by?
yes, that's what I believe. Now, if you go to the WCTV website, it's on there as well. It will just get pushed down as they film other town meetings or basketball games or whatever's going on in the
Right,
town.
right.
It'll get pushed down, so you might have to search for it, but, so after I got over the horror of looking at myself on film, because you never, when you look in the mirror, you just see yourself still.
Right.
When you start to see yourself in movement, it's really horrifying. Yeah, it's like, oh my God. But it went pretty well, and well enough that they agreed to keep doing this, so that's a good thing. So if you have any suggestions for topics, things that people might be interested in learning about, big picture, they are obviously related to seniors, and it could be something Wareham specific, but it doesn't have to be. So,
You need to come.
well, Missy has to recognize you, but if she does,
Nicole?
no, it's Judy in the back.
Judy, I'm sorry. Yes. You want to come up to the microphone? I have a hard hearing. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
But she has to anyway.
No, that's a good idea. Absolutely.
These things are hard to find.
I think
Yeah, absolutely. And as we've discussed, medical is a really big problem right now because the system is overburdened. And so anything with that I think would be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to find out. Who will help pay for hearing aids. And that's a nightmare to call around, which agency and which one does, which one doesn't, and,
Yeah, that's a tough one. It depends on what plan you have. If it's someone who doesn't have coverage and is in desperate need, the Lions are a really good organization and they will help, but it has to be someone who can,
need.
yeah, there has to be a real need for that. But, and I assume Wareham has a Lions group. I don't know. Most towns do.
I don't know if we do, but I'm sure Fairhaven does.
And I think that's it for me really this time. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. So, as you know, there's a Veterans Parade happening, and so we have our very own Elaine Lemoyne, who is going to be representing the COA in the parade, driving her beautiful Corvette with banners on the side that say Wareham Council on Aging, and yeah, she's gonna represent.
I think you also should know that this lady sitting over here is a vital part of all of their preparation and works weekly on putting it together.
But still, that's a big responsibility.
That's huge.
Yeah, she's working very, very hard at it.
Thank you. Right. What about the minutes? After they're recorded, what should be our process? Right now, we don't have a process, so are we going to give them to yourself and just to file them in, or how do we want to handle the minutes going forward?
So right now, I don't know what the process is right now.
They do. I do, but I think what Elaine was asking is, once she hands it to the town clerk, she has these extra minutes or whatever, what do we do with them?
They file them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you needed folders to keep them in date order, because, so from this minutes from May, it's 3 sheets. You could have a folder by year and just put them, in case you need to refer back to them, you'd have them all in order. But I'll give you some folders.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Always happy to help. So
Excellent. Thank you.
I'm going to pass these back to you, Elaine, right? These are the...
All right, so next on the agenda, board member application updates. So at last board meeting, the board voted unanimously to recommend all 3 applicants. That was submitted within 48 hours to the town. And something must have went awry because none of the applicants actually showed up to the September 26th board meeting, from my understanding. So I'm not sure if they didn't get the emails or things of that nature. So my understanding was they're going to try again for the October 10th board meeting for the select board. However, yesterday, when I reached out to Karen Wilford to confirm that all the invites were submitted, that had not happened. It was an oversight. So she's going to get them out to the applicants. It looks like it's going to be on the agenda for the October 17th.
Judy, what did you receive? Judy's already gotten it.
Did you receive something?
I received an email, yeah.
Okay.
It had like
For the 10th?
Okay, so it did come, they did send it out to you, because this is the information I received yesterday.
You got it for the 10th.
In the meantime, William Smith, who applied, he's become frustrated, and he has withdrawn his application. So he notified me probably 36 hours ago of that.
Okay.
So he's
too
off
bad.
the table. He's going to continue doing, I think he drives for the Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
I did let him know that we have volunteer opportunities. If in the future he's so inclined, please reach out. So right now, we have the two. Okay, all right. So please be on the lookout for an email from the Select Board doing an invitation. I don't expect it's going to happen on October 10th. I think they're going to, at this point, it's going to be October 17th, okay? I do ask that if you, once you receive that email, please send it to myself and Sharon Rice, just to confirm, so that we can kind of stay in the loop and just try to move this forward on our end as well. All right?
And keep the email, because it will probably have the link to where you need to log on to do the actual meeting. And how it works with them is you're kind of in a waiting room until they get to your part of the agenda. So you can see them, but you're not there. You can't comment or whatever, and then at some point they let you in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So please hang in there. I appreciate your patience. It will work out, you know, it's just a matter of going through the process.
We'll get you sooner or later.
Yeah.
It may be later, but we'll get you just the same.
So you'll be able to zoom into the select board meeting? Okay.
As long as it as long as there's a link that tells her how.
you can do it right on your phone, Judy. It's so easy. Yeah.
All right. So again, I apologize for the delay. Please bear with us. We're going to get it through. All right. So as of right now, we have the two recommendations open. We have one seat that's really available once these two come through. So hopefully we'll have an applicant.
So we'll be up to 8 people instead of 9.
Correct. Correct. And we need, you know, as an FYI, we need a minimum of 5 of us to have a meeting itself. So if anyone can attend a meeting, please let us know as soon as possible so we can try to make other arrangements, especially during the holidays. You know, we're coming into flu season, things happen. All right. Next on the list, the COA logo.
Oh, wait a minute. Board member update here. No, she updated on new members. Board member update means board member, board member, board member. Do you have something to bring up? Do you have something? Okay. So do you have anything that you want to mention as a board member? No. Okay. I think we need to have Elaine send a letter of thank you to Marie Riley, who is only leaving the board because she won't be able to be here full-time.
She's gonna be a snowbird.
Yeah, and she's, you know, she's been working so hard with everything that needs to be done in the kitchen and all the rest of it. In fact, she's picking me up at 11:15 to go buy more coffee. So I think she needs to get a note of appreciation from the board.
I have very nice handmade cards from the lady who does our little,
Oh, okay.
if you want to look and see.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
I know
they're,
she would love that.
yeah, I mean, they're blank inside, you'd have to write your message in, but they're just nicer, so stop by. I'll put one aside for you.
That's all I had.
Do we have an actual date of the last day she was here? Or that's still up in the air?
She's leaving,
Number
The
13.
13th.
leaving the 13th, which is a Friday.
Friday.
Yep.
But she'll be out of here like 3 in the morning.
You know what I'm saying, is that the date she'll be here, or she's leaving?
No, she's leaving that day, the
She's
13th.
leaving her house on the 13th. So her last day here will be probably next Wednesday.
Yeah, she's not going to
Not
Country
the-
Fest, which
not
is the
going to
12th.
Country Fest.
She won't be there.
And do we have her address in Florida to send the card to? Because we don't want to send it here. It
I
will
do.
obviously get passed away,
Yeah, you
passed
can-
around.
Okay. Yeah, you're thinking of doing something, you're thinking of doing something before she leaves? Yeah, I think we have to do it when she gets back. Yeah. It's just that there's too much else going on in that week. Yeah, no, I had thought about it, and I'm looking at the calendar going, not really. Okay, sorry.
No worries, no worries. Anyone else have an update that they want?
Yeah, on the flag for Wareham Counseling on Aging,
The flag, you mean, the banners?
the banners.
Uh-huh.
Do we have our logo for us yet?
We do not have a logo, unfortunately. So the only thing I'm going to work on a design for it, God help me. And I want to leave space because I'm hoping we can always, once we decide on a logo and we actually have it, that we can go back and put it on for next year and whatever events we might have where we could use this banner, or the banners, there's two. We need it both sides of the car, so.
Yeah, we have a COA big banner, and it should be on the front of our table, on the front of our sign-in table, come to think of it, at Country Fest. Because that's what it's designed to do, is to go on the front of your table.
Where is that? I know you guys used it when they had the
Downstairs.
thing over at Town Hall, and that was the last I
Yeah,
know.
it's downstairs somewhere, we'll find it.
Okay.
And of course, we still have the big hanging, the big wall hanging that never got put back up after they painted.
I don't even know what that is. Where was it before?
This great big thing, as you came in, it was up over on the left-hand side. And it hangs like from the ceiling. I mean, it's this big thing that talks
In the
about
gym?
it talks
Okay.
about who we are, and around the outside, it says all the things we take care of. It's this big dark blue.
So would it go like over the kitchen, maybe? Over the kitchen?
Good. Isn't that where the new bingo thing's going?
No, it's going over on the other side where that clock is.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
it
yeah.
needs to be where the bingo
Yeah,
players
it could go
can-
over the kitchen, or it was on that other side wall. It used to be in what we now call the nurse's office, so I don't know where it went from there, but it's down there somewhere. So we really ought to dig it out.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I have no idea what it looks like, so I couldn't tell
Because
you.
it's stuff that we were some of the stuff we kind of don't do anymore.
Oh, well, that might not be a good thing to put out there then.
Well, it's impressive to put it up, but I'll show you.
Well, it might be something we could alter if it's not current, if there's something, because those banners, they can actually put like a piece of fabric or tape over it and then put something over that.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, obviously it costs money, but
This is so old, I have no idea although it looked like it was in pretty good shape, but it's been hanging on that wall ever since I can remember. Yeah, but we do have the one to go on the front of the table, and that we definitely should take with us next week.
okay. If we can find that, we have a lot to transport, a lot. So we're pulling
yeah,
everything
I can
together in one
That
location.
just folds up. I'll
No,
stick it
that's
in.
fine, but we're pulling everything together in advance in one location so that we don't forget anything. So if you can get that either to Lynn Uberti, Melissa, or myself, we can put it in our pile of stuff so that we don't
Okay.
leave it behind by mistake.
One thing I had suggested to Sharon on the flags that are gonna go in my car, if we could find characters of people and say no one is refused, black people, red people, yellow people, little characters, I've seen them. They're like 5 or 6 little characters. And you would write, no one is ever refused, or all is welcome.
We want to even open that can of worms.
What?
I don't know. I mean, everyone is welcome, certainly. So I can tell you that there's zero tolerance in this building for any kind of discrimination against sexual orientation, ethnicity, anything like that. But there are people that we do refuse because of their behavior, because of, you know, if they bring alcohol. Like, there's certain things that we can't allow. I don't know. I would have to see it to kind of see, to form an opinion. I don't know. What do other folks think? You're making a face, but I don't know.
Well, I think once you get that definitive, you're asking for trouble.
The colored characters,
Yeah, yeah.
all is welcome, that's another
That's,
story.
yeah.
Yeah.
Colored, character, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
We represent the community at large, and, you know, we are a melting pot, absolutely, but I wouldn't want, especially in a public forum, to be that in your face. Just because our intentions are good, doesn't mean that it's necessarily, other people may perceive it that way. And I'm gonna look at it from someone else's perspective. So I think it's a great idea, but I wouldn't, not of this venture.
I haven't started the design yet. We'll see. That's on my agenda for today.
Mine too.
God help me.
I had similar things, similar thoughts.
And I'm sorry, this is not my part of the meeting, but I am working on the code of behavior for it applies to all of the board members, but it's not exclusively for board members. It's for anyone who enters this building. This is the code of conduct at which you're expected to follow, or you will be asked to leave, and what the policies are if you don't follow. And also on Facebook, because we have people who are very critical of some of the public officials that we have come in, and they take that out on our Facebook page. You want to have a diatribe against someone, you do it on your own page, or you do it elsewhere, not on our page. And, you know, just things like that. So it gives us the power to ban people, to block them on Facebook, and instead, you know, right now we're really vulnerable to, because we have no rules. And Missy Dizik's final words to me were, you really need to set up policies. And it's actually a really hard thing to do, because you've got to try to imagine every possible scenario, because the one you don't cover is the one they're going to do, you know, for sure. So I have a draft. I'm working on it, and then it needs to go to Derek Sullivan, the town administrator, and then it will come back to me, and we can start to enforce it. And it'll talk about our zero policy. You know, I've had some people come to me and say people are making cracks about this and that. And until I have a policy in place, I can't make them leave. But if you want to come and you want to make a racial or a slur against someone, I need to have something that has teeth in it to make them either leave or stop. So anyway, so that's in the works. I'm sorry, I'm
No, that's.
all over the agenda.
No, that's good to know.
That falls under the director's report.
Yes,
There you
and I just should say that just about every senior center has these rules because of this reason. Especially, people tend to speak their minds as they age, and some things are just not acceptable. You can have your opinions outside of the building, but when you're in here, you can't say, I don't like people with gray hair. Well, too bad. You know, or whatever.
Whitey-tidy people beat you all out.
What is it? I'm sorry?
Us whitey-tidy people beat you all out.
Oh, you, okay. Anyway, so just so you know, it's in the works.
All right.
And it's highly reasonable. It's not anything, you know, common sense, but sometimes you need that.
All right, next on the list, the COA logo. So last meeting, we kind of broached this conversation and kind of asked individuals to think about what the CO means to them, as well as any adjectives or what they would think would represent us for a logo. And I'm wondering, you know, what people came up with and what do we think?
I came up with friendly, supportive.
Yeah, I talked with the young lady who's gonna draw up some options for us, and here's what she needs. She needs to know what our color palette is. Okay, so we need to decide what we're doing about color of the ink, the thing, whatever. She needs to know kind of basically what we want it to say. She needs to know how big. Is it going to fit across the top of the thing? Are we going to make signs? What are we going to do with it? She wants to know what our budget is to do this. If it's zero, we need to tell her that. And she needs to know, you know, how soon we need it. Because she's employed, you know, doing other things, but she's willing to do this for us. So anyway, that's what she needs to do. I think the color and what we want it to say are the two important things. I haven't thought about what colors we wanted it to be, but, you know, we need to know. She needs to know. The printer would need to know.
So this was what I was thinking about doing for the banner, is just going with the town colors, whatever the high school uses. I don't even know what it is, to be honest.
Blue and gold.
Is it this
blue and
color
white or
here?
Purple and
High
white.
school is purple and white.
Purple and white.
Purple and white for the high school.
Is that Born?
Purple and white for the high school Vikings.
I thought that's Born. It's,
It's almost the color of the sign. Purple, blue, purple.
It's blue and gold.
Blue, all right.
It's the same color as East Bridgewater.
yeah.
Blue and gold, because we are the Vikings. Huh?
What's purple?
Well, I'll go to the website and be sure, because we don't want to do it the wrong color. But that was my thought for the banner, because I needed a place to start, and I need the banner quickly, far quicker than the logo will be done, you know what I mean? So, because we need it for November 11th, and I don't want to cut it that close, so, but I don't know if people think it should be the same color to match the rest of the town.
Not necessarily.
No, it doesn't have to be, but I just, I don't know what people think.
Speak up, Jim.
I mean, for the town, I wouldn't try to.
You can't read it from a distance either, not the stuff inside.
We can't use that anyway.
No, we can't use that.
Yeah. But we can use the colors, which, if it is indeed blue and yellow, then that is the color scheme, you know, and we could keep that. I don't have any objection to it. But we can't use the seal.
I liked, Sharon, I liked your idea last meeting. Currently, we kind of have a picture that's circular.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, it looks like people holding hands, and to your point, you have various colors that represent, to me, diversity. When you have the circle, to me, that represents inclusion, community. And when I thought about what the COA kind of meant for adjectives, I came up with advocacy, protection, empowerment, and dignity. But I liked how you were thinking, and that's just my opinion.
Can you also incorporate safety?
Safety, yeah?
A lot of people need to feel safe to be
Yeah.
It's,
So you
With that,
like, so you like
be
keeping
inclusive
this,
under friendly.
but expanding it?
Inclusive, yeah,
Okay,
blue, white, and gold.
I
yeah.
like the colors.
So I would say this is a blue, purple, and yellow.
Well, they say blue, white, and gold.
You could call it gold if you choose. But,
It's the same thing as East Bridgewater. I had an East Bridgewater T-shirt on, and had a Viking, and the woman says, "Oh, you support our Vikings?" I said, "Excuse me?
Yeah.
You support?" I says, "No, I support East Bridgewater." "Oh, okay, goodbye." It said East Bridgewater, Viking.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. It's that they saw Vikings and that was all
They
they
just saw
saw.
Viking and
Yeah.
thought,
Usually in towns that close, you won't find this in the same name like that.
yeah. There's quite a few Vikings in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
state of Massachusetts.
yeah.
how about visuals? Like, do any images come to mind? Because that's really,
Well, are we going to keep the one that we have and just expand it?
so the one we have is a generic COA. If you notice, it doesn't say Wareham on it or anything, because there are many COAs that don't have a logo, and they use that. I don't know if it came from a, like a, what do the heck they call those things, so you can, clip art,
Right.
or I don't know where the source was. It was here before me. But, so if we wanted to start with that and enhance it, that's a nice thing.
Is that the one that's there?
No, it's got little, like, go to our Facebook page.
Right here.
Oh, flags. Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing, okay.
I'm sorry, Jim?
Little teardrops, the colors of the rainbow going around.
You're right.
Right, right. And someone had suggested maybe putting things
Words
on those little things, but it would be so tiny. It-
Well, you'd have to make
You
it
know.
bigger.
We put
You'd have to
the
enlarge it.
words that we
Yeah,
come up
but we
with
would use
each
it on
one of the
everything, so
color
it would be
things.
teeny in the newsletter, it would be large if we had it on the banners, you know, like, it would be all different
Can it
sizes.
be bigger on the newsletter? On the newsletter, do we have to have the board member stuff on the front page?
We are actually, so Melissa is looking at a redesign, and she is planning to put all that on the back page.
Okay, so
That
this-
little half page on the back, I think a lot of people miss that.
Yes.
So, not to say the board's not important, but so she wants to make the whole front page, whatever our feature is of the month,
All right.
our events, whatever, so.
So then we would have room to enlarge this picture that's on here now.
The problem is that our count, we are so full, our newsletter is so full that I doubt it. I doubt that we might on the first one
All right.
and say, but would we do like a big block of it? I don't think so. It would come at the cost of something else.
So whatever we dream up has to still fit within this small space?
So what your designer will do is she's going to provide high-resolution files that will allow us to reproduce it, small or large, and it will be high quality. So it won't, you know, usually if it's like, that is not a high-quality file. If you enlarge that, it'll get grainy and but what she's going to provide us will be suitable to shrink or enlarge and put on, if we wanted them on T-shirts or whatever.
Okay,
which-
so to put words in here is not really viable
No.
because a T-shirt isn't going to be a whole lot bigger than this. So you're still
Potentially.
not going to be able to read.
To put them in the little teardrops doesn't make sense. We could, and of course, we have to have Wareham Council on Aging in there, not just COA.
Could you do, I know that we're looking at logo, but could we take out COA, add maybe a couple adjectives, and then here, Wareham Council of Aging, so rather than having a round logo, you would just have
Rather than have it say COA in there?
yeah, have a square. I don't know, I'm throwing out ideas.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of hard if you just have a
you
round
can't-
arrow
yeah.
to fit everything in.
Right.
Or if you
We
have
can try.
if you had a diamond shape, then you could put the major things at each point.
So I think,
Yeah,
And COA in the middle or Wareham in the middle or whatever.
yeah.
we can look at different options. I mean, this should actually be a really long process that we should all weigh in, and it, because we want to get this right. And it's, once we get it, we're going to start making things, and we can't change it, right? Because once you start to order your letterhead with this on it, or banners and things, you need to keep it.
Okay, so we need to keep all of this verbiage. Wareham Council on Aging, Senior Beacon newsletter, October, whatever.
The newsletter, we can do whatever we want,
Something on
but I wouldn't put Beacon on the newsletter, on the logo. The logo is for use in anything and everything that we want it to go on. It could go on our letterhead.
Don't finish.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, why does it have to have Wareham first? Can't we say Counseling on Aging, the town of Wareham?
We could, it's just more words. And again, some things, if I were to put this on a return envelope, do you know how small that's going to be in the little corner? So the more words you have, the tinier it has to get. So it probably could be illegible, I don't know. And then if you were doing something really large, it obviously would be legible, but you want to be consistent, because otherwise they have to design 2 separate files, and it's more expensive. So back to the budget question, did your person have a price in mind? I don't know if maybe the advocates would consider maybe paying for it in support of the COA. I don't know. This can be very, very, very expensive, and I don't know what this person's willing to do it for.
Okay.
Certainly, we can afford to give something, but I don't know.
Okay, so have we decided on color or not?
Still say,
I like going with the town's colors.
Yeah, I do too.
Keep it simple, keep it uniformed. That's my
So
vote.
the blue and gold, and if they wanted to look on the high school Facebook page to get a true sense, because blue can be a lot of different things. Blue is this, blue is,
Oh, but they have
Sharon's got
blue is-
both, everybody's got different shades of blue.
royal blue, is that how you say it?
It
It's a
could be.
deep, deep royal blue.
I can
The
get
woman
the,
that does the T-shirts, and she does embroidering. Oh my God, they used to be in the IG. Thank you.
Shirt Shack, yeah.
They handle a lot of the high school's stuff.
Right.
She would know.
yeah. There's an actual number that designers use to make it the exact same color. So I can get that, and they can match it, and I can get it to
Okay,
her.
yeah, we need to decide how we want it to look first. I think long before we even get into colors, we need to be able to tell her, what do we want it to say? Let's back up a little bit. What do we want this thing to say? Well, and that's what she needs to know in order to come up with,
Sharon,
some
what does
options.
your shirt actually say?
Town of Wareham, I think.
It has the seal.
Yeah,
and
we
it
can't
says
use that.
Council on Aging. But
It
I
had to
also
have the
a
seal.
shirt that says Wareham above it, and then the seal,
COA.
and Council on Aging. So I actually have 2 different shirts.
Has to have the seal.
These were done at Churchill.
It has to have the seal?
No, this one, we happen to have the seal.
I think they
But we
told
have-
us when we
we're
had those
supposed
made
to
up,
get-
I think they told us it had to have the
We're supposed
seal.
to get permission in order to use the town's seal.
Correct. So I'm going to guess they didn't, but I don't know.
On this, we did not. We had the shirt done, and like I said, one said Wareham, the town seal, and then Council on Aging. And then this shirt doesn't have Wareham, just has the town seal, and then Council on Aging.
I can't remember. I can't remember which mine is. Mine's one of the original ones.
That's what I have for Wareham.
Yeah, and we got permission. Way back when. Yeah, you're talking a long time ago here. But I can't remember. I can't remember what it says.
Those are the 2 that we have.
So maybe the next step should be, we have right now 8 adjectives. We have a potential color palette. Maybe we just need to take the time to think about what we would like it to look like. Does any,
Well, she'll
that
give
be
us,
next?
she'll give us some examples
she'll do it?
if we give her what we want on it. What did
Right,
we-
right, so, go ahead. Yeah, well, that's it. That is an important thing, is what she's expecting in terms of compensation.
Depends on how complicated we want it to be. But I need to know, first of all, what do you want it to say?
Wareham Council on Aging
Just
has
that?
to be there,
Okay.
yeah.
And what else? What else? Melissa, what else did you have?
Well,
I just had adjectives. but
Yeah.
You know, I,
Well, I mean, because, let's give them to her and
Okay.
see what she can work in.
well, for adjectives, we've come up with advocacy, protection, empowerment,
Okay, wait a minute. I just say protection. What?
empowerment, dignity,
Who?
dignity. Yeah. Safety.
Might have to eliminate safety because you already have protection in there.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
well, these are not words that are going into the logo, so these are just qualities
Quality.
that we want our logo to convey.
Represent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah, then leave safety.
Oh.
yeah, safety. Friendly. Supportive. And inclusive.
And I would like to add to that strong, strength. There's a very common misconception that seniors mean old and weak, and that's not what we're about.
Okay. All right, so you don't want to actually use any of these words.
Well, logos tend to be images. Even the town seal is an image with the relevant words. So if you think about, I keep going back to a tree. A tree has got branches because it's,
Reaches out.
right, it's strong, it is solid, it is protective, it conveys all of those things. That's the image that comes to my mind. Doesn't have to be. I'm sure there are other things, but I can't get beyond that one, so that's why I brought it to the board for their ideas on what you think kind of conveys those same things. Now, most people are not going to analyze it like we're going to do. They're going to look and say, oh, nice tree or nice flower or whatever. I don't want anything like setting suns, which to me implied death and, that's...
When you use a tree, perhaps you should use a maple tree, because then it has different colored leaves, and that will reflect different people.
But I have a question, can we use a tree? Because the reason I ask is my daughter bought these pictures, very expensive, and it's a tree, and it's branching out to say friends, love, everything.
That's what I mean, just like, oh, I can't use this.
So to
Sorry, the
use,
advocates. I was thinking with the coloring, but this is already the advocates, so we couldn't use.
but that is one tree. This woman is going to design something for us, so she will come up with a different tree if that's what we think is, no one, the trees are not forbidden because the advocates have it. And honestly, ours will be far more visible than the advocates because it will be everywhere.
Right, right.
So, but I don't know what else. I mean, could be, I would not put a picture of this building, but, some places have buildings, it could be
1809?
1908. It does feel like 1809, I can tell you.
It'll be interesting what she comes back with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's,
But I think Nicole's right. We have to make sure that it's within what we're able to do. Even if she comes back and she says, I don't know, $500, maybe the advocates could chip in and the COA could chip in, whatever. We
see
can
what she
figure
says.
something out. And if the advocates don't do it, then maybe I don't know,
yep,
figure something out.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so. That-
Anyway, so ideas are good. Yes. So you will reach out to her, Sharon, and find out what she's thinking about money-wise, and the time frame. We don't have any specific need. Like, we don't have to have it for January 1st or anything like that, so I think we should, I don't want to abuse her time.
Yeah.
The more information we give to her, the easier it is for her, and the cheaper it is for us. But it doesn't have to be done immediately. It's something we can take our time with.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that was, you had mentioned color, what do we want to say, budget and time frame. So we've addressed all that, right? Enough for you to get back to her?
Yep.
Right.
I'm ready to go. I do like the idea of a tree, and I'm really understanding that, a root system to the tree. What is our roots and what do we blossom into?
Yeah,
That's interesting, Judy, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Daisy.
Around here, it ought to be a pine tree. Thing in my park is pine trees.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
You can have the tree in the middle of it, and plant make leaves of different colors.
Yeah.
That's in the center of the yellow. Warren has the rail station, the railroad bridge. A few words,
Right.
not too many, just using
The
adjectives.
shadow behind it.
Thinking.
Yeah. Too many words is, it makes it tough when you, you know, it's got to work small and it's got to work big.
Yeah.
Lynn has a quick draw of what she thinks.
Yeah.
Stepping stones.
Stepping stones around the tree, under the tree.
That's kind of cool.
I don't know.
It's an idea.
Good idea.
Yeah.
It is.
No,
No,
it is.
ideas are
And,
good.
and the stones could be, you know, our core values, which would be some of the things that we mentioned
I
here,
just
advocacy and, yeah.
doodled.
It'd have to be more proportioned, I know, but,
I know.
yeah, and it would have to read, you know, be readable, teeny and big, but,
Around.
Yeah, my stones
Yeah,
are a
that's
little bigger
cool.
than my tree.
What you think.
It looks like an umbrella tree.
All right, and then
Did you
lastly,
have a drawing?
This is a doodle.
Doodles
Just so I
work.
can give her, just so I can give her an idea. Yeah, all right, she's got to have someplace to start.
Yeah, those are my notes.
all right, that'll conclude the COA's logo for now. We'll add that back to the agenda for next meeting and continue the conversation. And then last up, citizens' participation.
Everyone left.
All right.
Come on, Jem, give us some ideas.
Who was the other lady who was here?
that's,
American Inn.
oh, that's Bonnie. Bonnie is from All American.
Oh,
Oh, that's why she
Extra
looked,
support.
that's why she looked familiar.
Yes.